Discipline. It's one of those words that get thrown around like a cure-all. Wake up early, go to the gym, build habits, work harder than everyone else, stay focused, and on paper it makes sense. You're not disciplined enough. You should eventually get where you want to go. But there's something people don't talk about very often. Sometimes discipline feels empty. Not hard, not painful, just empty. Like you're moving through routines that look impressive from the outside, but inside, something is missing. You wake up early, you do the work, you check the boxes, and then at the end of the day, there's this quiet feeling that none of it really meant anything. And that's a strange realization. Because discipline is supposed to be the thing that fixes everything, right? But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it becomes another routine you repeat without really knowing why. And that's when discipline starts to feel less like progress and more like maintenance. Like you're maintaining a machine, but you're not sure what the machine is even for. The quiet problem no one mentions. The uncomfortable truth is that discipline by itself doesn't create meaning. It creates structure. And structure can be helpful, but structure without purpose is just motion. You can run 10 miles a day, wake up at 5 a.m., work harder than everyone around you, but if there's no deeper reason behind those actions, eventually your mind starts asking questions. Questions like, why am I doing this? Where is this actually going? Who am I trying to become? And when those questions don't have clear answers, something strange happens. You don't necessarily quit, but the discipline starts feeling heavier. The routine feels mechanical. Like you're repeating actions that once felt important, but now feel disconnected from your life. And the strange part is, from the outside, everything still looks impressive. You're consistent, you're reliable, you're productive. But inside, you feel like you're drifting. Why things happen psychologically. Human beings aren't machines. We're meaning-driven creatures. We can endure almost any hardship if we believe it's connected to something meaningful. But without meaning, even small efforts start to feel exhausting. There's a psychological concept, sometimes called motivational collapse. It happens when effort and meaning stop lining up. You're still doing the work, but your brain no longer understands why the work matters. So discipline turns into something strange. Instead of feeling like a path forward, it feels like something you're trapped inside. You keep moving, but you're not sure you're actually going anywhere. And the worst part is, you start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I'm not disciplined enough. But the problem usually isn't discipline. The problem is direction. The cultural side of the problem, and honestly, modern culture makes this worse. We've turned discipline into a kind of performance. You see it everywhere. People posting routines, morning habits, 5-hour productivity schedules, cold plunges, motivational quotes, and there's nothing inherently wrong with those. But the message behind them is often incomplete. It suggests that if you have simply become disciplined enough, life will automatically feel meaningful. But that's not how meaning works. Meaning comes first, discipline comes after. Without purpose, discipline is just effort. And effort by itself doesn't satisfy the human mind for very long. It just creates motion. And motion without direction eventually becomes frustration. I remember a period in my life where I tried to become extremely disciplined. Not in a dramatic way, just slowly building routines. Gym every morning, reading every night, planning my days carefully, tracking habits, optimizing everything. And for a while, it felt good. There's something satisfying about structure. It makes you feel like you're improving. But after a few months, years really, something strange started happening. I would finish my workouts, finish my work, finish my routine for the day, and I would just sit there. Not proud, not excited, just quiet. Like I had completed a list of tasks that looked good on paper, but didn't connect to anything deeper in life. And that's when I started realizing something uncomfortable. I wasn't using discipline to build something meaningful. I was using discipline to avoid asking bigger questions. Questions like, what do I actually care about? What kind of life do I want? What am I trying to move toward? Discipline had become a shield. It made me feel productive, but it also allowed me to avoid uncertainty. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. A small moment that changed my perspective. One night, I remember sitting in my apartment after a long day, going to the gym in the morning, work during the day, more work at night, very productive, very disciplined. And I remember looking around the room and feeling this strange, quiet emptiness. Nothing was wrong exactly, but nothing felt meaningful either. So I did something simple. I picked up an old video game I hadn't played in years, something nostalgic, something familiar. And as I started playing, I noticed something. For the first time in a long time, I felt present, not productive, not optimized, just present. I wasn't thinking about routines or improvement. I was just enjoying something, and it made me realize something small but important. Meaning doesn't always come from discipline. It comes from the things that remind you why life is interesting in the first place. The things that make effort worth it. Discipline is not the enemy. And this isn't an argument against discipline. Discipline is incredibly valuable. Without it, purpose stays abstract. You can have dreams, ideas, ambitions, but without discipline, they never become real. Discipline is what turns intention into action. But action needs direction. Otherwise, you end up working very hard in circles. And circles can look like progress for a long time. Until one day, you realize you're right where you started. The strange relationship between purpose and discipline. Purpose doesn't always arrive dramatically. It's rarely some lightning bolt moment where everything becomes clear. More often, purpose grows slowly, from curiosity, from interests, from small things that keep pulling up your attention in the same direction. And once you start noticing those things, discipline feels different. It stops feeling like punishment. It starts feeling like alignment. You're not forcing yourself to do the work anymore. You're choosing it. Because you understand what it's connected to. And that shift is subtle, but powerful. So if discipline has ever felt meaningless to you, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You might just be disciplined in the wrong direction. Or maybe disciplined towards something that doesn't actually matter to you. And that's a difficult realization. Because it means the solution isn't always try harder. Sometimes the solution is stepping back and asking a quieter question. What is all this effort actually for? Because discipline is a tool, a powerful one. But tools only make sense when they're building something. And if you don't know what you're building yet, maybe the most honest thing you can do is slow down just enough to figure that out.